Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm having fat-free Greek yogurt, pecans, and almond butter. Breakfast of champions right there. Of course, I'm sure there will be people who chime in now that this is what I'm eating on breakfast, of how unhealthy it is. You know, they're going to complain about the polyunsaturated fats, or there's too much animal calcium, and that's going to make my bones brittle. Some crazy ass vegans who come up with this delusional nonsense. But that aside, let's talk about training volume. Strength is forged in the fires of volume. Why? Because training volume is where we get our hypertrophy. Now, when I make that statement, I don't want that to be interpreted as volume itself is always the best driver of hypertrophy. Because again, it's a factor up to a point. Mechanical tension does matter, right? Mechanical tension matters. Now, we can largely remove that argument when we do concurrent type training. And notice every training system I use or advocate is concurrent, right? Either got conjugate type training or we got 5-3-1 type training. And, you know, my own variations on them. All right, those are all concurrent. We remove a lot of that because we're going to be doing really heavy work every week, no matter what. So we're getting heavy tension. In fact, we could make the argument that doing heavy work before all your pump work attenuates upper threshold muscle fibers better. We may get more out of the pump work as a result of it, in other words. Right? Instead of just coming in and doing a bunch of sets of 10s, we're doing heavy stuff first. And I believe that is the case, me personally. I believe that is the case. However, that volume work off the back end of that heavy work is where the real magic happens, right? Heavy work, we program it. We program it in a way that we know works. It will assist with progression, whether it's, again, 3-week waves or something like 5-3-1. Whether it's conjugate, where we're running max effort using conjugate lifts in a rotation half the week, and the other half of the week we're doing dynamic effort, preferably against bands or chains. Right? We program all these things for success. But then all the hypertrophy training, which is again our volume work that we do off the back end of it, it's what's going to get us bigger. It's what's going to get us thicker. And a bigger muscle has more force potential. That is not opinion. And people can come in and say, I disagree. You can disagree all the fuck that you want. Your opinion is irrelevant. This is what the data shows. This is what the experts know to be the case. Your opinion doesn't matter. And that's where people come in and they get stupid sometimes. They'll say, well, I disagree with this. Well, okay, but you're not anybody who anyone should care about their opinion. Okay? You can go over to a class discussing engineering and you can't do basic calculus. Or you're a high school student and go, well, I completely disagree, and they're discussing stuff that is just known facts of whatever, mechanical engineering. Okay? Your disagreement makes you stupid. It makes you an idiot. It's displaying that you don't know anything. So people need to drop that nonsense, because all it's doing is displaying your ignorance. No one cares that you disagree. The data and the best coaches and the best experts in the world are just going to laugh at you. And they should. Now, back over to the point. Our volume work is what gets us there. And this is something I harp on a lot. It's something I've harped on a lot in recent years because I didn't always really fully push this stance to the same degree. Right? I didn't push it to the same degree. And it's important when we make adjustments in our philosophy based upon our knowledge, that we drive these points home. Because otherwise people think that we might still have a slightly different stance that we had in the past. So again, I'm always going to push this because I really believe it's that important. Now, the amount of volume is very individual, right? We can only tolerate what we can tolerate. In fact, let's go back to the other point, another line. We only grow from what we can recover from, right? We don't grow from our training stimulus in the gym. We grow from what we recover from. So whatever amount of that we recover from, because again, there's recovery time, there's a recovery window in which you are not growing. That's what we grow from. Okay. But hypertrophy raises our strength ceiling. It gives us more strength potential. Like we can argue on a lot of lifts, hypertrophy can give us outside leverages on top of it. What do we mean? Bigger lats can help you out of the bottom of the bench press even if their contraction itself is not contributing directly to the movement, at least on the concentric. We could argue about the eccentric. We could argue about barbell placement, where how we control the eccentric can be affected by lat strength. Sure. We're talking about lifting the weight itself. Well, bigger lats can flat help you pop it out of the bottom. Again, same thing, hamstrings on a squat. So now we're talking about not even the muscle size contributing directly to pushing using its fibers, but just the muscle being in the way. How about hamstrings on a squat? We can make the case on a power squat, bigger hamstrings allow for a better eccentric bar path, right? We can make a good point for that. But what about just the hamstrings themselves being used to bounce off the calves? Compressing the hamstrings off of your calves itself can help you squat more. It can help you get more power out of the bottom. How about biceps on a bench press? A lot of strength athletes, we will kind of laugh at bicep training. Well, there's reason to believe bigger biceps can help you at the bottom of the bench. And if you're a wider grip bench, you're definitely stabilizing. But even think about a close grip, even again, a spring effect. So having more muscle in the right places can have an indirect effect on your strength also, at least strength as in our ability to move more weight, right? But when we're trying to move big weights, we need to have every advantage that we can. We need to have more actual strength itself, the ability to produce the force. But hey, if we can get some leverages, advantages on the top of it, of other stuff in our body by just getting thicker in the right places, we should probably do that too, if our goal is to lift the heaviest weight. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.